All right, I saw some people already waiting in the room, waiting in the chat. It's a rare Wednesday show. We got for Christopher Love of MMA already there. Let's go, Big Blue. Already liked, smash the like, fam. Come on, everyone. You got Mike Lee telling everyone to smash the like button on as well on the way in. And we got my old buddy coming in here saying,
Come on,
like,
everyone. You got
smoke.
Mike
So I
Lee
got
telling everyone to smash the
what do
like
we got
button on
here?
as well.
What do we got here? We got a little feedback there, but we got everyone else coming in going, smash the like. And you want to know why? Because it's the off season. It's the start of the MMA. Is that Big Don in the house? I already see Big Don roaming the house, seeing what's going on there. There he is. I knew Big Don would be here. What's up, Big Don? Hope you're having yourself a good day. We got Jay also coming in. I see Jay coming in strong, just like Kavyon Thibodeau, just like the Giants expect him to do. I laugh because you had the OTAs. The OTAs have been going on. The voluntary OTAs was today and yesterday and today, and then you have not tomorrow, but Friday. There's another OTA day, and it's phase 3 of the OTAs. Phase 3. It's a very important phase. You still can't put on pads. You still can't hit anybody. You can only run routes. You can do 7-on-9, 11-on-11, I believe, drills as well. Yeah, I mean it's and they're all voluntary. So at this point in time, this is more of a I always said it's like a meet and greet for the team, for the coaches, for the new players. You know, get them in, give them the playbook, get an idea what's going on, kind of go from there. You know, what happens in OTAs does not really have a bearing on what's going to happen in training camp. So I think that's what a lot of people, you get excited about the OTAs, but there's really nothing going on there. People are like, well, they had Jalen Hyatt and Adoree Jackson returning punts. Okay, it's the OTAs. Doesn't mean that's going to happen. Adoree Jackson returned punts last year. Was it the brilliant idea to return punts? No, it was not the best idea. What's up, Jose G? Jose G in his house as well. It was not the best idea to put your starting CB1 back to return punts, but you know what? It is what it is. But like I said, you bring in the likes of, we're talking about practice, man. We're talking about practice. I wish I had the. I wish I had the. I used to have the practice sound effects by Alvin Iverson. I don't know where that one's. But that's all we're talking about. We're talking about practice. You can get excited about it. You can be thrilled by it. You can do whatever you want about it. It is what it is. So what changes now between what changes before the start of training camp? It's going to be miles apart. Everything's going to be different. So just take everything you see with a grain of salt. It's going to be fine. It's going to be okay. You know, if Adoree Jackson's back there catching some punts, great. Jalen Hyatt's back there catching some punts, great. I don't think we need to have like 40 videos of Jalen Hyatt returning punts. Same with Adoree Jackson. No, it's okay. It's all good. You know, I did like the comment that Wink had in reference to Kavyon Thibodeau, basically saying there is no ceiling for him. And honestly, that's kind of what we're going to have to see, because of the fact that you need to see what his potential is going to be, because all in all, people will forget like the first 13 games of the season for Kavyon. There were so many fans that were calling him a bust. There were so many fans that were calling him, he was not the right pick to take at number 5. Same with Evan Neal. Then he has the couple turnaround games. He got the big sack and the fumble recovery against Washington. Then all of a sudden, he's everyone's glamour boy again. Well, you know what? He has to prove it consistently. I like the Kavyon Thibodeau pick. Love the Kavyon Thibodeau pick. Still do. Love the Evan Neal pick. Still think they're two building blocks. But I'm not going to, and I like the fact that Wink, who is pretty good, I would think he's pretty good at assessing talent. If you take a look at the defenses he built over in Baltimore, see something in Kavyon, see something that he can work with, something he can do. And you just have to kind of go with that one. Like I say, you got to take everything with a grain of salt. That's all I'm saying. Just take it with a grain of salt. What do we got here? We got, like Mr. Robert says, let's hope the class of rookies don't get hurt and miss a lot of time. Some of the rookies last preseason. Well, you had Beavers that went down. Actually that's the game we took the Dahmer to. We had the Beavers go down, and we had the injury there. And you had Bellinger miss some time. You got Wanda Robinson with the ACL. You had some, You had some issues. But you know what? That just happens in football. It just happens in NFL. We talked about it a million times before. It's next man up. And you really do hope that the rookies from last year progress into this year. And you hope that the rookies from this year make a contribution and make a large contribution, because honestly, the first 3 picks, I think in some ways, potentially, maybe not Jalen Hyatt, will be penciled in as starters. And I think that's what you need to look at, that they will be penciled in as starters. So they're going to have to step up and move forward. Jose G said, one name, Jason Sehorn, CB1 returned anything but interceptions is a bad idea. And he got hurt in preseason. He got hurt in preseason. That makes it even worse. That makes it even doubly stupid. How you put Jason Sehorn back there to return punts, I have no idea. I have no clue why you put number 31 back there after the year he had. Let's see. Jason Sehorn was a starting quarterback. Jalen Hyatt, a fourth round wide receiver, or a third round. He was a third round wide receiver. Yeah, I mean, it's not a great comparison. Like someone said that they compared Hyatt to Ron Dixon. Ron Dixon had like 36 career catches. Ron Dixon was a punt return. You're hoping more from Jalen Hyatt, that he's going to be more than Ron Dixon. You're just hoping that. And I think when some people, I think some people compare players because of the fact that they're comparing them due to what they, their speed and some other attributes. But I don't see this. I don't see this as a wrong. I don't see that as a Ron Dixon. But yeah, I understand. It's not a great comparison, but it's not a bad comparison. We got Fabian in his house. Ain't the big dog. The big dog is here. Jose is responding back. What is Jose G saying? Jackson was also back there, and he hurt his knee last year returning punts. Yeah, I remember that. That was it. It was. You had flashbacks of Sehorn. And for those that were around to watch Sehorn, you remember what happened there. When he went down, I heard Mike Wallace, and who the hell said Ron Dixon? I'm gonna get to Ron. I'm gonna get to that. It was someone on Twitter. I don't even remember the person's name. But when he went back there, you were just like, oh geez, oh dear Lord, please, for the love of God. For the love of God, please don't let it happen. Miss Admiral Matumbo's in his house. What's up, Admiral Matumbo? Who will have the most sacks, Tim? You hope it's Kavyon. You really do. You really do, because you were going to need, and you hope he gets like 12, because of the fact that while you've added more components, your pass rush is kind of still the same. You could talk about the fact that people, the venerable Rob will tell you that the inside presence is going to help the run on the outside, but if you don't have presence from the outside edge and have the ability to maintain containment, it's going to be. I saw you there, Rob. Rob R0B, of course, is on the Sunday stream. I saw him come into the room, so I had to roll him under the bus. I got another bone to pick with you, Rob, but I'll pick that bone on Sunday. You can thank the Zach Attack for coming in strong and sending me another tweet. I love my crack staff. My crack staff known as Zach. But if you can't maintain the run, if you can't control the edge, it doesn't matter what you have in the middle, because they're just going to bounce it on the outside. Let's see. What do we got here? But Jalen Hyatt still has to prove himself. It's not like he's guaranteed the number 1 wide receiver spot. Makes him a punt returner showcase worth of other parts on the field. No, he's going to, as a third rounder, he's going to have to. He's going to have to return punts. We've said this a million times before. One of the downfalls of the dangerous David Sills is the fact that he doesn't play special teams. He's a 4th, 5th wide receiver who doesn't play special teams. That's not a good combination. You need to do that. And Jalen Hyatt, to make the roster, and he's a 3rd round pick, so he's going to more likely make the roster. I would say 99% positive, is going to have to return punts. Plain and simple. Christy says, I heard Mike Wallace. Who the hell said Dixon? Some idiot on Twitter. Go to Twitter and you look it over there. What does Ralph say? A 3rd round wide receiver also is our 3rd wide receiver in 3 drafts. Jalen better pan out. You're right. He better pan out. He better pan out. Because if he does, if you're looking at, okay, first of all, you don't know exactly what you're going to get from Paris Campbell. You don't. In 5 years, he's been hurt 4 of them. And he had a good season with a bad Colts team, and I've said this once before, on a bad team, someone still has to make the plays. So he's going to have to come in and step up. You got the injury still to Wando Robinson. Isaiah Hodgins, you could talk about him ad nauseum, but again, he's only shown us a short myriad of stats and abilities for a short period of time. I mean, you still have Darius Slayton. You're still bringing guys back in. You got Walla Waller. But the problem is you still need that outside threat. You still need that speed. You still need him to do something. And honestly, if Hyatt doesn't pan out and someone really needs to step up and fill that spot, or they have the ability to stretch the field. Jose G says, bro, you're missing the point. I'm not talking about Hyatt. I'm speaking about Jackson. That's okay. He understands. It's all good. We're all friends. We're all good here. Fabian says they should they do something like the XFL kickoff? They're changing the rules on the kickoffs. I don't like it. I don't like the rules because you know what? It's you are literally taking jobs away in some regards to special teams players. People that make the NFL vis-a-vis special teams, you're really taking those jobs away from them. So, I wouldn't go as crazy as going to the XFL. Timothy says, hey, Tim, will the Giants sign Barkley to a 4-year extension worth $48 million? Well, by my math, that would be 12. And I don't think Barkley's going to take 12. I know Barkley's saying he's not looking. His agent, she's come out and said he's not looking for 16. He's got to be looking close to 16 because if they really gave him 14 and he's still turning it down, listen, I'm all for players getting paid. 100%. But the problem is this, sometimes you got to jump out of fantasy disco and come back to reality. And the free agent market for the running back was not where he thought it was going to be. I don't think he misjudged it. I just think that the bottom kind of fell out of it. But then you turn around and see what happened in the draft with the running backs, and you're like, well, it's kind of interesting. And here, so we have to wait and see. Here's R0B. What's up, Rob? What's going on, man? What do we got here? Is that we need a Dave Meggett type punt returner. Well, Dave Meggett did a lot more than return punts. That was the thing about Dave Meggett. He returned punts. He played, he was a third down back, and sometimes he was even for short periods of time he was a featured back. But I understand your point. Yeah, I think if you get someone like a Meggett, that would be a nice. We have not had a solid punt return since OBJ. I should rephrase it. We have not had a spectacular punt returner since OBJ. We got Max on the beat saying, yeah, Timmy, what's going on? Greg from the Sweden. What's going on, Greg? What's going on? Why need a punt return anymore? That's a good question, really. It's a 1-year rule. I don't like the rule. There's an old saying, and I guess it's racist and not racist, but I guess it's sexist when they say that's why girls don't play the game. And that's kind of what they're doing. They're kind of you're kind of taking away the intrigue in some ways and the fun and the excitement. And, you're doing it under the guidelines of you are protecting the players. But the problem is, if you look at it statistically in reference to injuries, there's really not that big of a difference. There's really not like massive amounts of injuries that are occurring on these plays. I got it, Greg. R0B says Zach is fired. Zach is never going to be fired. Zach Attack is the Zach Attack is the online Big Blue person that sends me all the information, that's why I love Zach. He's not even here today. Ralph says, how many coaches are going to let people punt returns and not just fair catch? That's the thing. You're taking that element out of the game. You're taking that ability out of the game. You are taking away a component of the game that's been around in the game for years and saying now, well, vis-a-vis injuries, we are going to have to watch it. We're just going to have to get rid of it. But let's see. It's a 1-year experiment. I don't like it. I like the third quarterback thing where you can have 3 quarterbacks on the field, because this was the fiasco and with the 49ers. I like that you can have those 3 quarterbacks and 2 can be on the roster. And the third one is the emergency backup. And you can only play him vis-a-vis injury and not play him just because the other 2 suck. This way you don't have Christian McCaffrey in the backfield during a championship game. That was exciting. Can you see DJ getting benched? Sure. I could think you could get him. He can get benched. He throws up a couple. I think if he throws up a couple stinkers, I don't think that Dable is married to Daniel Jones as much as people think. I think if it's going to come down to wins and losses and the Giants are losing and they're losing because of Daniel Jones, yeah, I think he'll get benched. I think he could. I don't think he will get benched, but I think he can get benched. Greg says it's 1:00 in the morning. Big T support. What's up, Greg? I always appreciate it. It's 1:00 in the morning. So I'm hungry. So let's eat. R0B. So thanks always, Greg. I'm going to block Zach. You can't block Zach. You can't block Zach. You don't know who Zach's. You don't know what Zach's. He goes under a secret code name. You don't know what it is, Rob. Let's see here. Greg Thibodeau gets beat on a lot of plays to the outside last year. He did. Rob likes to talk about the play that he got turned around on. Gonna make fun of Rob again. He likes talking about that play, but he doesn't like talking about the fact that he was out of position when that happened. Greg isn't Swedish. Greg's Mr. Sweden. What's going on, Greg? What the hell was that? Oh, we got a thunder and lightning storm, I think, going on. Thank God I put the lid back on the Jeep. I had the hardtop off the Jeep today. So before I came downstairs, I literally just put it back on the Jeep. I just put the hardtop back on again. Christopher, hey, what's up, Christopher? Hello, Tim. Everyone on the show. What's going on, Chris? Oh, I also got Jay coming in strong saying, I hope fans don't treat Hyatt like they did Kenny. His first year could be rough. His first year will be rough if he's got the drops. If he's got the oopsies, yeah, the first year could potentially be rough. I have to agree with that. But if he uses that one thing we talk about,
you got to get speed, demon speed. Speed's what we need. We need greasy, fast speed.
Thanks, Mick. If he uses that speed and holds on to the ball, I've said this before. If Jalen Hyatt has between 25 to 30 receptions, he could potentially average 17, 18 yards a catch. I'd be fine with that. I would find that to be a successful rookie season. I am going to the in early June. I've been invited to go to the rookie dinner over at MetLife. So we'll be doing that. That's the first week in June. So we're going to be doing that early June, and all the rookies are going to be there. It's a meet and greet with the rookies. So put it in the chat. Everyone knows my question to Daniel Jones. Put in the chat if there's a question you want me to ask one of the rookies, and I'll write it down. Well, I won't write it down. I'm lying. I'll take screenshots, or I'll have Zach take screenshots. And I'll ask the questions for you because I got no shame. What's good? How are you guys doing in the OT? There's nothing going on in the OTAs, Christopher. We talked that we ranted about that for the first 11 minutes. OTAs are nothing. They mean nothing. It's a meet and greet. The good news is all the Giant rookies are now currently under contract. So I think that's good years. We got Raw0B talking about Kenny. Not Kenny, talking about Saquon. 4 years, $60 million, 40 guaranteed. I would do that for Saquon. I would do that. Meet halfway at 15, says the Fabian. Yeah, I could do that. I could do that. I could do 15. Like I said, give him some guaranteed money. Give him some bonus money as well. Jose G, sometimes I'm thinking that the guaranteed money was low and not low as offered. El Bell got from the Steelers. I think the problem is this, and I think this is still the problem with Saquon. Everyone talks about how the fact that he keeps turning down the contracts, but I think you're right 100%. Jose G, I don't think the guaranteed money is there. I think he's not getting what he wants guaranteed dollar-wise. They may be close on a yearly figure for yearly number, but I don't think the numbers are there for the guaranteed money. What does Big Don have to say? Give me Jermaine Lewis for punter. Oh yeah, he was actually really good. I would take him. Well, he's not. I don't think he's playing anymore, but I would take him. Hell yeah. Christopher D says, keep him on the tag. See if he can stay healthy versus the best defensive line in the NFL this season before you give him a contract. Here's the problem, though. Here's the only problem I have that with this thought process is Daniel Jones last year, that was his first season that he was healthy. And a lot of people have no issue giving him the money that they gave him. And people will say, yes, it's only a 2-year deal, but technically it's a 3-year deal because it's a lot of guaranteed money in year 3. But no one was talking about that with him. And Saquon has actually had I believe we talked about it. If you go by yards, if you go by yards from the line of scrimmage, I believe he was like third in the NFL over the last 4 years. I forget the exact numbers, but I don't know. I don't like him playing on the team. I don't like disgruntled players who are so important to the team. I don't like when they're disgruntled and we need them. Jose G says, I'll settle for Ron Dixon. Settle for Ron Dixon at the punt return. I'll take that. Timothy says, Tim, will the Giants trade their their 2024, 2025 first rounders picks to the edge rusher Josh Allen? No, I love Josh Allen. I thought the Giants should have took Josh Allen over Daniel Jones that year. But he's not worth that. He's too up and down. Christopher also says, I think Barkley contract dispute may be how it is constructed. I think it is. I think it's the construction of the contract and the guaranteed money. I really do. I think that's the stipulations are some of the in the contract are probably not the issues. The devil always say are in the details, but I'm thinking more it is how it's constructed and the guaranteed money. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Oh, Rob. That's what I love about Rob. He's just so Rob. The speed is useless if the quarterback isn't throwing to him on the rollout. Daniel Jones is going to have to develop more into a pocket passer. Don't forget to hit the like button. I forgot to say that. Hit the like, walk in the room, hit the like, blah, 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 all that stuff. He's going to have to develop more into a pocket passer, plain and simple. He's going to have to stay in the pocket. He's going to have to go through his progressions, go through his reads, and look downfield. That's it. That's all you can. That's because the spontaneity of the Giants' offense of run is not going to be there, because you are going to have teams that are going to key up on it. So he's going to have to develop himself more, and it's not the best thing for him because it's not really a skill set. But he's going to have to start going through his reads, start going through his progressions, and look downfield. And he's going to have to go through the first 1, 2, and 3 reads. He can't just make a decision like he normally does and just go that way. It works for a period of time, but it's not going to work forever. R0B says, Timothy, no, we shouldn't. And he isn't available. I don't know if he's not available. You know what? I look better that way. Hair looks good today. First Giant memory. So that's a question you want me to ask one of the rookies. Like I said, I'm going to the rookie dinner in early June. So if you got any questions you want me to ask one of the rookies, just type it in the chat. I'm going to take a bunch of them down, and I will do that. Should the Giants sign TJ Hawkinson next offseason? If the Giants don't sign him or place the franchise tag on him, you would hope that Walla Walla Waller is going to be your tight end for at least 3 years. I mean, if Walla Walla Waller is not and Bellinger doesn't develop and he turns more into a Kevin Boss-esque type and you're looking for a big play tight end, I like him though. I do like TJ. TJ was one of those other ones that was going to come in and revolutionize the tight end position. Same with Kyle Pitts. Hit the damn like button. You heard Rob. Hit the damn like button. You don't hit the damn like button. You know what's going to happen? I don't know. Should the Giants trade Saquon Barkley in the middle of the season for a 2024 first or second round draft point? No. But here's the problem with that. You didn't get a first round pick for McCaffrey. You got a bunch of other picks, but you didn't get a first rounder for him. And you only trade Barkley if the season's gone downhill. That's the only time you consider even consider trading Barkley. So if the season goes north or south, I think we want it to go north because north is up, south is down, east is west, west is west. Look at this. It's geography. You only trade him if the season's collapsing. That's the only time. Mike Lee, what's going on, Mike? Need to sign Barkley to a long-term to help out the cap situation this year. Yeah, the cap situation is looking kind of kludgy right now. I keep running the numbers, and I'm not liking the way the numbers are running. But I think, and Shane is running the numbers as well. So it would help, and it would alleviate some of the cap stress right now for the Giants, especially since we're considering we're still under the rule of 51. My brother from another mother, James Williams, in his house. Hit that like button, hit the like button, smash the like button, do all that like button stuff. Colin says, would you take a flyer on Clowney if he doesn't sign to help and teach our young guys how to play the run from the outside? Clowney plays the run better than a few people that are out there that I've seen bandied about to the Giants. But Clowney's strength is always going to be his ability to penetrate.
That's what she said.
And that's his strength, and to go after the quarterback. It's not a bad idea. It's not a bad situation, but I would only take him on I would only take him on a veteran minimum deal. Stanley says, R.I.P. to Tina Turner. Yeah, that was pretty sad. I saw that today. Yes, definitely R.I.P. Mrs. Turner. Hey man, it's Bob the Builder. How have you been? How are you feeling about this team this year? I don't know yet. I honestly don't know yet, my friend. I have to look and wait and see kind of where we're at right now, because I have no idea until at least we get a little bit into training camp. You have to like the draft. You have to like what they've done at free agency, contractual wise, and some of the players to get these guys on low end deals. But you still have some issues on the outside linebacker spot. You still are going to have some question marks at the safety spot. You still have some issues at your guard positions. I mean, we gotta wait and see. Jay says, how do you think we stack up this year against division rivals? Or is that a question for the rookies? I mean, like I said, I think right now, if you're going to go through the division, it's still going to be the Eagles, Dallas, Giants, Washington. And Washington just doesn't have a quarterback. And we have Bellinger. This was in reference to when we were talking about the tight end position in TJ. The only thing with Bellinger is he's he's better than Caden Smith. And I think he's still on this. I think he's on the same level as Kevin Boss. And I think that's what he's going to be. But that's all right. I mean, because not every tight end that comes in here is going to be Jeremy Shockey or Bob Tucker or anyone else for the Giants. Let's see. I saw your question. Here we go. What's up, Ralph? I saw your question to DJ, and I have to disagree that it wasn't a bad answer. I never said it was a bad answer. I have to disagree with your comment right off the bat, and I'm not trying to be mean. I never said it was a bad answer. I said it was a corporate PR answer. Didn't say it was a bad answer. And actually, I said I liked the way I liked that he answered the question. I just didn't like the rocking back and forth and hugging himself when he was answering the question, because it was a softball question. It wasn't even that bad. You got Daniel Jones on video that he's expecting a very good season and no excuses this year for his offense. You could read into that way too. So if it's a bad year, you mean I got gold on the video? I'll get something that'll go viral. Chris says, I have a feeling Bellinger is going to have a very good season. I hope he does. The problem is he's not going to get the playing time as much. Well, he'll get it on the two tight end set, but you're going to keep Waller out there as much as humanly possible, because he is going to be the guy that's going to help stretch the middle of the field. And if you have a threat on the outside as well, he is a guy that is going to turn around and really be a difference maker, and hopefully open up the running lanes as well. Max on the beat says, I think we're letting Adoree go after the season, which is concerning for our cornerback room, because if Banks turns out to be a CB1, we still don't have a CB2. You hope that Flott, but I'm not a big Cordell Flott fan. I'd like to see a lot more out of Flott before, and I understand where you're going on with that, Max. I really do. I do think they are going to let Adoree walk next year. Unless he has like a superstar year this year, I think they're going to have to let him walk contractually. They don't really have to let him walk contractually because of the fact that we have enough space in 2024. But it depends on the direction of the team. It really depends. I like it still to be determined. TBD. Stanley says, I think the Giants are making a big mistake not re-signing Barkley. It's one of those things that you have a franchise guy. You have a guy. He is not signing this contract because Saquon knows his importance to this team. He knows and he understands his importance to the Giants. That's why he's doing what he's doing. And it's a bad situation when you think a guy, you think a late round running back is going to be your replacement for Saquon Barkley. If you don't have Saquon Barkley and you're going out there with Matt and what's his name, Gray, I'm putting 8 in the box. I'm putting 8, 9 in the box. They throw, because I can just throw the ball, because I'm going to shut down your run. I'm going to stop your run. Max on the beat says, Stanley, I think they want to sign Barkley. I think they just don't want to overpay, which is what sucks, because it's taking too long and it's creating a lot of uncertainty for us fans. That's the problem, though. It's the fans that are having all the uncertainty. The player, I mean, like I said, the organization. Well, in some ways, the organization has the uncertainty as well, because of the fact that you have no idea. You have to build and construct your offense around these players, and your one key cog, a truly key component, just not there. You know, like I said, it's mandatory. It's not mandatory. It's voluntary. So I'm not really overly concerned that he's missing voluntary workouts. Mr. Albert says this upcoming season is the equivalent of 2021. They put all the chips in the middle of the table, and I'm worried, like it was last year, it'll be a massive flop. I don't think they're putting all their chips in the middle of the table. And I'm not, in some ways, I agree with you. In some ways, I disagree with you, because I think in some regards, they're always going to say it's a rebuild. They're always going to say that. And win or lose, they're going to keep telling people it's a rebuild. It's a rebuild. It's a rebuild. If they start winning, you know, they're winning within the rebuild. If they start losing, it's going to be they are losing because they're still rebuilding. So I agree and kind of disagree, because it's not like this.
I'm raising the stakes right now. This is a poker game. I'm shoving my chips to the middle of the table. I'm raising the ante. Anybody wants in, get in. Anybody wants out, can get out.
It's not a Jim Fossil moment. Not a Jim Fossil moment. Not yet. Do you think that Leo resigns next season for the cheap if he doesn't have a Pro Bowl caliber type year? Leo's got to have a comeback year.
King of the almost sack.
Because if he doesn't, yeah, he's going to be gone next year either way, I think. I don't think the Giants, he's got the voidable $5 million dead cap number already for next year. I think he's gone either way. And even if he has a Pro Bowl season, what are you going to do? You're going to sign him to another 4-year deal, and then by the end of the deal, he's not, you know, I just don't see it. I don't see it. What does Christopher predict? I predict Daniel Jones between 23 and 28, 9 touchdowns, runs for 9, which is equivalent to 30-31, which is acceptable. Here's the thing. I've said this once before. You are paying Daniel Jones, technically, if you look at the term of his contract, you are paying him technically $40+ million a year. Yes, I know it's 32 in the first year and the 32 in the second year. I get that, and I get the guaranteed money, but technically you are paying him $40 million a year. You are paying him with like he's a top 5 quarterback. He needs to throw for 4,000 yards, at least 28 to 35 touchdowns. I already said I would give him 11 and 12 interceptions because he's going to be chucking it deep. And he's going to have to run for like another 300-400 yards and at least another 7 touchdowns for this season to be considered successful. He's going to have to. There's no more of this. You are looking at Daniel Jones basically for half a decade this year. It's time. Most quarterbacks in this league now get 2 years tops. He's getting half a decade. And if it reaches a fever pitch that he is not the guy, it's going to be bad for the organization going into 2023. So you have to hope. Max on the beat says, if that's who you're banking on to be our CB2, that's a problem. Yeah, it is a problem. No, I don't disagree. Stanley says, my question to you, Tim, is why is the running back position so highly valued in the 90s and the early 2000s, but in today's game, the position is not valued? What's up with that? It's very simple. In the 80s, especially in the 90s, the running game was very prevalent. They always use the old adjective that you use the run to set up the pass. And you valued the running back as not only a running option, you also had him as a true third down option, a true third down back. You go back to the Giants in '86 with Tony Galbraith, who they brought in from Minnesota as a third, just as a third down back. And how many times did they throw the ball to Tony Galbraith out of the backfield? It was almost ad nauseum. It's like you knew it was coming. Same thing with Dave Meggett, and they just built their offenses towards that way because it was possession, defense, and that won you championships and that won you Super Bowl. You look at the defenses in the 90s and the early 2000s, and you look and see how these teams were constructed. It was constructed to play awesome great defense, ball control, burn the clock, and then hit the big play when you can. And you saw the Giants do that last year and be successful, have a 9-win season. So it'll be curious to see. So it'll be curious to see. Mr. Alvarez says, "Bye, Leo. It's DJ. I like DJ Davidson a lot. I think he played well in his chance. Let's see. The Detroit has had a abysmal corner room They're letting go of what's his name? I can't. That's not how you say his name. I can't remember how to say his name. Ojuka, which was something I'm fine with him being a. Oh no, the kid from Detroit. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm thinking of something else here. Being a camp body and using him in certain packages, but I don't want to rely on him being. Yeah, the kid from Detroit. Yeah, Detroit liked him to the point that they said that he is a press cover corner without speed. And I talked to people, we talked about this when they signed him, that the problem was this, and this is what they said about him in Detroit, that if someone got a step on him, that step will turn into 2 steps. That step could potentially turn into 3 steps, that he will be gone down the field. And he, like I said, he is a good press cover corner. He just doesn't have the speed or the fluidity in the hips to make those plays. Yeah, if he's our CB2, we have a lot of problems. Hurst for real. What's going on, my friend? Yeah, everything's good. Everything's good. It's good. Everything's good. Hope everything's well with you. If he fails, they better draft a quarterback next year. They need to stop coddling Jones. They have to. There's no more time to stop coddling Jones. This is it. This is it. You're done. You're done. It's going to be half a decade. How many more years and how many more chances does he get? And this is not being mean to Daniel Jones, but if you look at what he did statistically last year, those are great numbers if you're playing in 1986. This isn't 1986. If you take a look, everyone talks about the game-winning drives, the whole game-winning drives, and it was Mike Too Nice that was on with him. And he broke it down that Daniel Jones was like 4 for 5 in those game-winning drives for like 15 yards. You have to put things in context. You pay someone $40 million. You have him eating up 18% of your cap space. He better be the quarterback messiah that you've been waiting for. Mr. Wanda Robinson stat prediction. I don't know when Wanda Robinson's coming back. Maybe mid-season, a little earlier. If he comes back and works himself into the lineup, he has 20 receptions for like 300 yards. I'm fine. Like so, I don't know. I don't know yet. What do we got here with D-Kid? What a novel point. DJ needs to throw more touchdowns. Blah, blah, blah. Stop being a fraud. You know what he's playing behind the last 4 years. Just be honest. Don't be part of the group thing. Actually, this is really weird because what you're talking about, you are part of the group think. Because we've gone through this a million times before. There are plenty of quarterbacks that played behind bad offensive lines. There are plenty of quarterbacks who won Super Bowls with terrible wide receivers. So if you want to talk about groupthink, you are in the groupthink mode. I think he'll start. DJ Davidson? I hope so too. Here's a question. Would the Giants have won more games last year if Hurts was their answer? Yeah, I think they would have. I think they would have. 100%. Hurts is a special player. Hurts is a guy that, and you could bash Jalen Hurts all you want. You're an idiot. I don't want you in here. You're in timeout. You're in timeout, D-Kit, because you're a fucking idiot. Hurts has a specialness about him. You saw the way the Eagles offense went when Jalen was out. You saw how they played without him. You see his guys rally him. It's kind of amazing because he's got that infectious personality. Well, let's see here. What do we think? What's up with Jay here? What do we got for Jay? Doesn't make Daniel Jones special after one successful year. It doesn't make him special. No. You do it a couple of years to be successful. Enormous. He's not going to be back probably till like week 7, week 8. He hurt himself late in the season. Hurst Real says the kid from Oregon will compete with Davidson for a rookie spot, for a roster spot. I think DJ is going to start. I think sometime this year, DJ Davidson will start, and he will start for an extended period of time. Stanley says, hey, Tim, I think the Atlanta Falcons will be on the surprise team next year because they got the easiest schedule, and they got electrifying running back in Mr. Robinson. And if you combine it with Kyle Pitts and some other things, I think you might be right. You could be right. We got James. Well, Jones. We knew James was going to come in. Jones will be getting ready to retire and will be like, next year is his year. You're right. What's up, James? We got Frank Sinatra. The sounds of Sinatra and the way you look tonight. Greetings, Timmy baby. Greetings from New Orleans. How's the rest of the Rat Pack? Tell Dino to bring the car around. Toot sweet. This is why we got to start getting into the season sooner or later. We also have here, who are your preseason cut candidates? Anyone that doesn't make the 53-man roster. Hey-oh, way too early. Way too early. We have, like I said, we haven't even gone through the useless OTAs yet. They're not useless for the team. Not useless. What 100% they are not useless for the team. Don't get me wrong. But from a fan perspective, what you see in the OTA, we talked about this. What you see in the OTAs does not mean what you're going to see in training camp. How many OTA warriors in the last couple of years, especially in the wide receiver position, did we see from the Giants? And these guys never even made the roster. We did a whole video about it. What does Landon say? I don't think Daniel Jones throws a good deep ball. And honestly, he doesn't throw a good deep ball. And don't forget to hit the like button. Hit the like, whatever you got to do. I don't like this thing. I don't like this thing on there. Taking that off. Why? Because I can. I don't think he throws the best deep ball. I really don't. People will talk about 3 years ago how he had one of the best deep ball percentages in the league and compared to other quarterbacks. And I love it because then when you did the actual deep dive breakdown, you saw these other quarterbacks with 50 deep balls, 46, 39, 52. Daniel Jones had 13. So if you have 2 deep balls and you complete one, you're at 50%. So you're above the league average. What's up, James, my brother? What's up? And we got a big salute to the chat. Frank says, got killed last time with my comment on DJ. Still think he needs to prove it. He does that, I'll be on board. Hey, listen, I have no problem with Daniel Jones if he plays well. I have no problem. I told Daniel Jones to his face, I'm one of your biggest critics. You know? And I always tell people if he plays well, I always admit it. I say he played well. But I'm also not going to sit here and live in fantasy disco. What's up, Stanley? How do you think the Giants will get? Do you think the Giants will get Hopkins? If they cut him, no. If they cut him, no. I think he'll go to what he perceives to be a contender. And also the Giants, unless he's going to come in on a low-end deal, the Giants don't have the money to sign him. But I don't think if they cut him, no. Christopher says, I think the last year's draft pick from Houston, Johnson, Murray, and Hyatt will battle for punt returns and kick return dudes. I think Hyatt's going to return punts. I mean, why not? Unless he all of a sudden becomes uber valuable to the offense. I think he's going to return punts. Osmosis Jones, what's up? Likelihood we trade for a number 1 receiver. No, likelihood is 0. Let me do the math. Carry the 3 and the 6. 0 chance. We just don't have the capital. We don't have the money. Next year we could, but we just don't have the money. Wish we could. What do we got here? DeAndre Baker was an OTA stud. Total waste of talent otherwise. You had a lot of wide receivers back in the Joe Judge days, and I kept hearing about how they're going to be these big-time wide receivers. Because look at them catching the OTAs. Snagging balls. Huh. Yeah, none of them made the team. It's just the OTAs, guys. It's just all it is. I don't think he's accurate. He missed. Well, the problem is we don't really know 100% of the time because of the fact that also he sometimes just doesn't pull the trigger. That's another big problem, Dan. Sometimes he doesn't pull the trigger. And I think we have to, he's got to kind of get out of that. And like I said, excuse me, when he sees a guy open, he's got to throw the ball. And that, he's got to take the shot. Admiral Tumbo says interior line will take time to gel early part of the season. Yeah, the interior line is going to be an issue. I know, what scares me. This is what scares me a little bit. And I know you're talking about the offensive line. This is what scares me a little bit about the interior line, Mr. Admiral Matumbo. It reminds me of the Joe Judge Gettleman eras where we had all these guys we drafted, Matt from Connecticut and all these other players that were going to come in and just start playing Shane Lemieux and all these other guys. And then they didn't play well. They didn't. What's Chris CD says? His completion percentage last year would dispute that, Landon. But how many times they throw the ball deep? How How many times? James Williams says that lady stood up and said that guy's not a real Giant fan, even though we're all at a special season ticket holder event. Oh my God, I know. I can't believe they invited me to the rookie dinner. Can't wait to go to that. I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna behave at the rookie dinner. It's in early June. I do have some questions for the Jingle Hammerschmidt. And I got some questions for Mr. Hyatt. I don't have decided yet. DeAndre Baker was a DB. Yeah, he was a DB, but that's not what he was talking about. It's not what he's talking about, but okay. Given your experience, is it easier for coaching staff to evaluate players now or 10 to 20 years ago? I think now, because of the fact that you have more opportunity. Yeah, I know D-Kid he's going back and he got blocked. He got blocked. He's no longer allowed to play. Sorry. Now, because of the fact that you have more footage, you have easily accessible footage. You can go down and you could go to YouTube and find stuff on people now, and it's easier to travel, and it's easier to communicate, and it's easier now to evaluate. Now, the evaluation process is easier, but is it getting it correct any easier? No. Because it's a crapshoot. It literally is a crapshoot. Ralph says, if you had to do it again, would you rather have Neal or Garrett Wilson, a wide receiver who went 10th? I would still take Neal. I still think Neal is going to be special. And I go back to this, Ralph. It's the whole Andrew Thomas thing. Andrew Thomas's first year was not his best year. It was not a great year. And I did a video about it. And I said, I think, and you can go back, everyone can go back and watch. I said, I think he's got something wrong with him because I even said it during the season. He's got a giddy up in his step. He almost, when he went into pass protection, if you watch, he almost had a hitch in his step going backwards. And if you watched him in college, he didn't have that. And it wasn't technique. It just didn't seem like he was comfortable going backwards. And I kept telling people, listen, just wait. Don't give up on the kid. And so many people wanted to give up on the kid. I was wrong again and all this, blah, 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 blah. But I still think Neal's going to be something special. Everyone talks about Mekhi Becton. I loved it. Mekhi Becton. Now people are like, where's Mekhi Becton? I can't find him. Oh, Andrew Thomas is a Pro Bowler. Oh, he should have been a Pro Bowler. I'm going to be all pro, but hey. Mr. Alvarez says the Giant homers are really... They call us a cult, but you're 100% right, Mr. Alvarez. You were 100% right on that. You were 1,000% right on that. Let's see here. Mr. Frank says it took DJ 2 years to learn how to hold on to the ball. What are we talking about here? I don't know, man. You got to hope, because if Daniel Jones fails, this season's a failure. This season's going to go down the hill real quick. We have the massive salute to the two. A massive salute and respect to the diehard Giant fans in the chat. Greetings from Italy. Well, greetings from Italy. How you doing there? Hooker. Frank says Hooker went 68th. If he is a stud, which I think he is, I will give up. Damon Shabler had the time to make the move for a developmental player. Everyone knows that I loved Hendon Hooker. I think that he could have been, his injury didn't. I wasn't concerned about his injury. I wasn't concerned about his knee. I mean, his age. I thought he could be something special. Players play into their 40s. So it will be interesting, the fact that, but you can't say that, because you have to like what the Giants did in the first 3 rounds. But yeah, it will be a suck fest if all of a sudden he turns into something extremely special. Captain Matumbo says the Nuggets have Joka Melo's number 15, should tell you everything about the organization. Joka's been in the league since like 2014. I didn't know that. I think it was 2014. I think it was the 2014 draft. That's crazy. It's been in the league that long. Tim, I was so excited to see Denver dethrone the Lakers by sweeping them. But do you think Denver Nuggets will win an NBA championship? If they play against Miami, yeah, which is going to be the likelihood, even though that Boston won last night. But yes, I do think so. We got the big salute to the Big Dash knows. Those that don't know, go find Big Dash. He's a giant YouTuber. He's all over. Go find him. Go watch his channel at Big Dash Knows at big-knows.com. What do we got? If Jalen doesn't get 700 yards or so with 6 touchdowns, or more fire the whole wide receivers. Can I say I am sick of drafting wide receivers that do nothing? Something is wrong. No other teams has the problem 3 years in a row now. Well, you reached on Kadarius. Let's be honest. You reached on Kadarius Toney because you were trying to get Daniel Jones weapons. You drafted Wan'Dale Robinson as a contingency to Kadarius Toney. And they're basically kind of the same player, except, I think Kadarius is a little bit more electric. You then go and take Jalen Hyatt because while some scouts think his route running ability is suspect, it's nowhere near as bad as Kadarius Toney's. And I'm sorry, Greg from Sweden. It's nowhere near as bad as Kadarius Toney's. You're gonna hit, you're gonna miss, you're gonna find these diamonds in the rough at times. So you just have to hope a little bit that you can kind of find that gem. And I think Hyatt's gonna be that guy. I really do. What do we got here? Hoping and praying somehow that Shep makes our 53-man roster. Honestly, I like Sterling Shepard a lot, but I'm going to tell you this: if Sterling Shepard makes this 53-man roster, we got problems with the wide receiver core. He should, with the talent, and people forget about bringing in Crowder, bringing in what's his name, Smith, the rookie, and the Smith, not the rookie, the wide receiver from the Jets. If he makes this team, we got problems. What's up, Mr. Bruce? Haven't seen you in a little bit. Hey, Tim, if Saquon comes back this year and we get destroyed in the playoffs, are you for letting him walk? I am. He isn't worth the money he wants. It depends. If the Giants make the playoffs, I'm going to tell you this: Saquon probably had a pretty good year. And if that was the case, they should have let Indianapolis should have let Peyton Manning walk. Denver should have let John Elway walk. Buffalo should have let Jim Kelly walk. The playoffs are their own beast. They're their own season. And you have people that are playoff heroes and playoff warriors and are average in the season. So you never know. I mean, you would have to see how it plays out. What do we got? Frank S coming in here. Said the last 2 Super Bowls were almost accidental. Is an accident. We were in the same mode now. Defensive lines is not going to go on and run on Eli run. Yeah, I agree. All right, we got Big Dashes. Shout out to the chat. Tim, how do you feel about Wan'Dale punt returning when healthy? I think it's a viable option. It's a hell of a lot better than have a Dory Jackson back there. But the question is also going to be, you got a guy coming off an ACL injury, and maybe with the new rules in reference to kick returns and things that you want to put him back there. But I think you're playing a dangerous game. I think if you're going to take a guy with an ACL and put him back there, especially early on, I would think that you would want to work him slowly into the rotation, because I think you're going to need him more into the slot receiver. And like I said, we don't know what's going to go on with Paris Campbell yet. We don't know what Hyatt's going to be. We kind of know what Darius Slayton's going to be. You don't know what Isaiah Hodgins is going to be. You don't know. But if he gets to a point, I think that he is going to be dependable, and he's not going to hurt himself. Yeah, I think you can put it back there in the punt return position. We got Tutor saying, Dash, low, already know the answer, boss. There we go. Every season Eli Manning won a playoff game, he won the Super Bowl. That's true. That's true. Very good. That's true. That's 100% correct. You're right. We got everyone going on with the two-toe going on. We got everything going on here. But like I said, you're gonna find good guys. You're gonna find these diamonds in the rough, and you just got to kind of hope that Jalen Hyatt is that diamond in the rough. Mr. Robert says Kadarius Toney probably was the second round pick, but they did reach, because the 2 guys they wanted, Parsons and Phillips, were off the board, and they made a panic move. I don't know if they made a panic move. I think they really wanted Devontae Smith. I really do think the Giants wanted Devontae Smith. I think they panicked because of the fact that they should have just taken Parsons. Should have, could have, would have. And like I said, I love Justin Fields. I knew the Giants weren't going to take Justin Fields, but I thought that he had an interesting combination of skills And if you want to take a look at the season, you want to take a look at a guy having a good season, not a great season, but a good season, Justin Fields, with terrible talent around him. And he willed the Bears into games on his own. Justin Fields, that is. And we always talk about a player making the people around him better. That's what Jalen Hurts does. That's what Justin Fields does. So that's what you have to hope down the road, that is what's going to happen in reference to Daniel Jones, that he is going to start making the people around him better. And I've said it before, and I said it's if you want to look at it from a perspective of, you had someone like Kenny G, success in Detroit, success in the Dome, Matthew Stafford, everything else you want to say, comes in, does not play well under Daniel Jones. You have Golden Tate, same thing. Model citizen, everyone loves him, comes to the Giants, he doesn't mesh and doesn't play well with Daniel Jones. He's now malcontent. Same thing with Kadarius Toney. Everyone wants to talk about how Kadarius Toney's potential, but they don't want to talk about the fact that his big game versus Dallas came with Daniel Jones not at quarterback. And then you talk about Evan Ingram. Evan Ingram had the whoopsies. He had the drops. He had all the other problems. Goes and plays with Trevor Lawrence and turns into a real all-pro. So the question is Daniel Jones making players around him better or not? I think that's going to be the big question. Tuto says it's a big dash. His size, questionable for a ball return. They let him run over him, step on him. The size doesn't matter.
That's what she said.
There was some great. You had Gerald the Ice Cube McNeil return punts. He was like 5'7", 15 pounds. Or 40 pounds or whatever. Let's see here. Mr. Alvarez says, in my opinion, Bengals are taking Jamar Chase. Screw the Giants out of Devontae Smith into our Jalen Waddle. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. Stanley says, hey Tim, do you really think LeBron James is going to retire? He might. I hope he does, because I got a bunch of rookie cards. Most of them are 9.5s. Goes with my Jordan cards. So I hope he does retire. I think he plays again. I don't think he calls it quits. I think he's good. I think even James says it, but it's all for show. It's all for show. It is. What do you say? I hope I will. I pray I will, but I need to feel like in 1986 when we have a good chance, not a feeling now. I hope you're wrong. I think I hope you're wrong, and I really do hope you're wrong. That's all I can say about that. All right, it's almost 8:00. I got to get out of here. This was only going to be a short stream because I got a bunch of stuff I got to do tomorrow. We're going to have the regular stream on Sunday with the R0B, so make sure you come in for that, hang out for that. Let's see. Let's get to this last one, though. I met Paris Campbell's parents at the KFC in Nashville. Pretty cool people to run into, especially on the day that Campbell's first career touchdown. They both got the $5 fill up on the $12 bucket. All right, guys, that was a good quote to end. All right, guys, like I said, I'm out of here. This was just going to be a short stream today because I got all these comments that people are like, you don't do streams at night anymore. I wish I could. I wish I had the time to do them at night. But I just wanted to make sure I just jumped on the mic, said hey to everyone, see what was going on. Don't forget that join us on Sunday. Sunday's the big stream with R0B. We're going to have a good time with that. We're going to have some special guests coming in. We're going to have special guests coming in also from overseas, and it's not Dom. So make sure you hang out for there. And you know what, guys? As always, this is Tim. This is New York Giants Straight Talk, powered by Online Big Blue LLC. Hope everyone has themselves a wonderful night, and I'm out of here.